Good evening. It's October 17th, 2024, Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. You're watching Co-op for Two, and we're playing through the Blair Witch Season 2 from Hunt a Killer. Tonight we'll be playing Box 3, at least all of Box 3. We keep threatening to play 2 boxes in one night. Maybe this will be the night we do it. Let me check in with the chat, see how everyone's doing. YouTube says 10 concurrent viewers, 4 likes. I do appreciate when you give these videos a thumbs up. Jonathan Warner says the forward being unclear and group having to debate about it seems appropriate for Blair Witch. So there's that. The way forward being unclear. Last night, we played the second box and hit a puzzle at the end. There seems to be one big puzzle in each box so far, which is sort of the way Hunt a Killer tends to do things. And boy, last night's puzzle had me pretty angry. It was very disappointing. All the effort that's gone into this box, this game, and that puzzle really felt like a letdown. So much potential and so much failed potential, but we did get it solved thanks to the chat. And one of the things that was in last night's box was this 3D model of the abandoned house cabin of the witch, we think, or where the kids died in the first movie. So we'll just keep that nearby to remind us. Anything else to talk about before we get into today's box? I did hear a friend of mine from a site that I created a long time ago called donationcoder.com just was asking me some questions, was commiserating about they just got a ransomware virus. Clicked on a link. The whole computer is now encrypted, and the ransomware wants him to pay like $800 to unencrypt it. If you don't know, it seems like the days of viruses, there are less of them now, but they're sophisticated enough that if you get unlucky and get a ransomware virus, there's a very good chance you will not be able to recover the files on your computer, period, without paying a ransom, and maybe even if you do. It's a huge nightmare. So I did want to do a little public service announcement here, recommendation, that if you rely on your computer for important documents that you create, if you've got your own documents on your PC, get yourself an external drive and a backup. Get into the habit of backing up your hard drives and disconnecting them from your computer when they're not backed up, when you're not doing the backup. That way, if you did get a ransomware virus or something similar, or if your hard drive crashed, you'd be able to restore it. All right, let's get into box 3 here. All right, we don't read this yet. A big, thick envelope. Not very heavy. All right, so I see something. That's pretty spooky. That's pretty spooky. All right, let's see where that comes from. The production quality here with this game has been pretty high. All right, let's read our introduction. Dear investigator, I'm still out of breath. I just got back, got to write this all down while it's still fresh in my mind. I only just made it back to the motel. Right after we heard the dispatcher talking about the van on the radio, I ran all the way out to the Eastern Access Road. When I arrived, that deputy, Gail Cooper, was already there. I told her I thought the van might have been ours, even though I wasn't sure at first, to be honest. It looked like it had been sitting on the side of the road for 20 years. The body was all rusted, the upholstery ripped to shreds. To say it was undrivable would be the understatement of the year. Of course, I opted out of the insurance, but I'm sure James will handle that after we get him out. But then I saw that creepy doll Ray bought Emma as a souvenir, just dangling from the rear view mirror by a piece of twine. That clinched it for me. This is proof something strange is happening here. Gail stared at me like I was nuts when I told her it was ours, that we just rented it a couple of days ago. She insisted it couldn't be, as was just some old hunk of junk, told me I was far from the first person to come to Burkittsville looking for something in the woods, that this had to belong to one of them. She even asked me for the rental contract, which I didn't have because, of course, it was in the van. She refused to let me in, but at least she wasn't as belligerent about it as Lanning has been. There is some good news, though, or at least less worse news. The tow truck showed up while I was trying to get in, and when Gail was distracted filling out the paperwork and getting it hitched, I managed to snag a camera bag out of the back seat. Good thing I did, too, because Emma left me messages. Some she meant to, and some she probably didn't. Some audio they must have captured on their phones has been auto-uploaded to the website. And there are also a bunch of pages all shoved into one of the ration boxes. Looks like she and Ray were recording everything that happened to them. They wrote on pretty much every scrap of paper they had. One of which was the filming permit, which was denied. They lied to me about getting approval to come here. Maybe they just really wanted to be part of this. Maybe I pushed them. Maybe they, like me, just thought we were better prepared. I shouldn't have let them go without me. We'd seen what happened to everyone else who went missing in the woods, but I thought we knew better. I thought they'd be okay. Read the script I sent you, nixed now, obviously, and you'll see how naive I was. I've looked over everything, and I think Emma and Ray are trying to tell us where they've gone now. And they're not at the van anymore. They left part of a map, but if we're going to figure this out, we need to find the other half first. Looking through everything I found, I think it must still be in the van. And the van, well, that's in the police impound lot. Lanning hasn't been a barrier so far, and he's not going to be now. Nevertheless, if I'm going to do something as dangerous as this, I'll need to know exactly where I'm looking before I go in there. Once you know where in the van to look for the next clue, send the location to me in the chat box. And here's the password. But please hurry. I don't know how it's happened so fast, but they're low on supplies. Get back to me as soon as you can. So a little bit of recap here. We're part of a podcast, and the other half, it's Ed and James, the people who run the podcast. James and two interns went into the woods in Burkittsville, where this legend of the Blair Witch are, and they've gotten lost. And it's clear that the woods are some other kind of supernatural dimension, and it's trapped them there. They're lost in the woods, but we've been able to talk to them through walkie-talkie and now through the radio tower. And we finally found their van, but it looks like it's gone through some sort of time travel weirdness, and it looks like it's been there 20 years, and we've just stumbled on the contents of the van. Okay, so this doll was hanging from the van, and I can see made in China, okay, but behind a little head thing, it says hunted. pretty creepy. So maybe this is the woman that became the witch. Okay. And then this looks like an MRE container that our guy just said was packed full of notes. We'll look at those in a second. And he says some photos and audio were uploaded to the website. So we'll want to log into our website to update it. But let's see what else. He also says, I'm sending you the script for the show that they were going to film. And it looks like this is the police report on the recovered van. Let's start there. State of Maryland, Burkittsville Sheriff Office. This is Gail Cooper, one of the troopers. Recovered vehicle. Towed by Hall of Fame, Eastern Access Road. So when we were talking to them, we heard the police finding this van, and so that's why we ran over. The Sanchez Premier, 1999. Plates missing, gray. It's inoperable, rusted, back doors unable to close. The radio is missing. Okay, they've taken the radio. Significant damage, damage from wildlife, unknown viscous substance. Tires are all deflated, punctured with nails. Radio missing. The vehicle was discovered abandoned on Eastern Access Road at the entrance to the Black Hills Forest, called in by a park ranger. The van was heavily infested with mice, roaches, and other vermin, and will be fumigated upon arrival at the county impound lot. Remains of a rodent-like creature with spines and hair were found underneath the passenger's seat. Due to its decomposition and the scavenging of other local creatures, we were unable to identify the animal. The interior of the van had mold growing on the back. Several food containers were left to rot and were covered in an unknown viscous substance. All windows were broken and the exterior paint was scratched off and rusted in many places. Consistent with the aging process, one left to the elements. Two distinct set of footprints were in the surrounding area, both coming from and leaving in multiple directions. One set seemed to circle the van several times. Animal footprints of some sort of rodent were also found only on the muddy northmost side. The owner has not been identified, although a tourist approached officers at the scene of the discovery, claiming to have rented the van within the past week. This scenario is considered highly unlikely due to the poor aged condition of the vehicle. Okay, pretty cool. And then we weren't really told where these come from, so maybe we won't look at them yet. But we were told about the script that Ed wanted us to check out to see how naive they were. Okay, so here was the planned podcast, Cold Open. Preparation is key for anything, but especially for a supernatural encounter. Up against a vampire, you know a stake to the heart or some garlic will do the trick. Got a werewolf problem? Stock up on silver bullets. But how do you prepare for something like the Blair Witch? Or realistically, the very dangers of hiking in an unknown territory. Not only are there environmental dangers like wet rocks, cliffs, and harsh terrain, but there are also some pretty dangerous fauna in Maryland. Got your bear spray, Ed? I actually do, James. Good to know you're prepared. Welcome to Super Neutral, the paranormal podcast that pits a believer, that's me, Ed Barrett, against a skeptic like me, James Durant. All right. I don't see... Okay. Not sure what's relevant about this, why he felt the need to give this to us. All right, so before we read our other documents, maybe we'll take a look at the MRE box. You said there were notes left in here. Looks like it slides open. He said they wrote on anything they could get their hands on. Okay, well, look, I see something right here already. He said half the map was missing. I wonder if this is the other half of the map. All right, let's not forget that's there. So, is this the rental agreement? Yes. All right, you can see there's the rental agreement, plate number. I've crossed it out. Hmm. And then Emma and Ray have probably written back and forth to each other on here. Okay, we'll read that in a little bit. Let's see what else we've got. Ranger incidents reports. Where did they get this? They haven't written on this. Hmm. Not sure why this is in the MRE container. They obviously didn't type this. Where have they gotten hold of this? And why is this in the MRE container? That's weird to me. Okay, and here was the camping permit application. We were told that our guy Ed thought they had gotten approval, but when he found this, he realized that they had actually denied. Maybe they denied the filming permit, but this isn't the filming permit. This is just the permit to camp. Okay, let's see what we've got. Maybe that'll be online. Camping permit. Requested entry point, Eastern Access Road, exiting the same place. Number in the party 3, you were never coming in. Additional remarks. Additional permission for audio and or video recording has been requested as the permittees are members of a media production crew. Request 4337 for filming has been denied upon the grounds of potential reckless endangerment. The ruling of this permit is applicable to the entire Black Hills Forest, including the following areas at which frequent incidents requiring ranger intervention have occurred. Trespassing upon these areas will result in a heavy fine and a charge of reckless endangerment with no exception. Okay, so this was the permission to camp and the denial to film. And it mentions reports, ranger reports in these areas that they're explicitly forbidden. And I guess that's why we've been given this. Either our people got this on their own to see if they could correlate incidents, or it was given to them. Let's see. Okay. The following areas have been denied: Chimney Top Landing, Dead Man's Rock, the Ruins, Jones Camp Falls, the Trench, the Rocky Flats, Dutch Hill, Pine Hollow. If you wish to appeal your ruling, you may submit an 081 form. Okay, and then they've made notes, it looks like, about these different areas. Maybe they've correlated with this. They've said Dead Man's Rock, that's where the search party was found all killed. God, no, they're not going there. Good places to scout. Okay, the Chimney Top Landing, nice and high, but poor visibility. Dense foliage, mostly eastern white pine. Maybe that's a good place to scout. The Ruins, too far. Does the hermit live here? Jones Camp Falls, the pale thing, never. Or the Paula thing. Maybe that's in our documents here. The Trench, good cover, but how deep? Oak leaves, good for tinder. Rocky Flats, hard to find, tough hike to get there. Tree line sparse, maybe. Dutch Hill, there the lights are there. No, they don't want to go there. The most remote access to water, maybe. All right. And maybe we can correlate these with this. So for example, here's the Jones Camp Falls. Several hikers reported hearing screams near Jones Camp Falls. When rangers investigated, they were unable to find anyone in distress. Patrols plan to investigate the area regularly for the next few weeks. And here's Jones Camp Falls. Maybe there's another entry. All right, well, we'll go through this, obviously, looking for clues. These two go together. And then we'll want to make sure we go through the notes here. Let's just put this aside for now. We've also got these to go through, but I'm thinking maybe these are going to be mentioned on the website. I see they just use these to write in. In fact, look at this. Look at the production quality for this game. So they've written some Morse code here. More Morse code back and forth. More notes. All right, this was probably just something in the car that they wrote on. And what's this? Past lives on, another warning from old Blair. So this was a brochure about a play they put on or a show, and then they've written on it as well in various places. Looks like this is all their writing too. All right, lots to read today. But let us go check out the website first. All right, so we need to log out of the previous day's website, not use the same password as before. Use a new password. And remember, we're trying to tell him where to look in the van. All right, so I guess we're in. So remember how this works. The home page is the same with some dates for the Blair for Burkittsville. But then there's going to be two changes to the website, updates to the message boards. So these message board posts will be different. We'll want to read these. Oh, some audio too. Mostly these have been flavor, though. We haven't found any of these that are actually really relevant for us. But more explicitly useful for us is these files. So the graffiti was the last item from our last case. She watches us watch. She watches us watch. And then what's new is audio from Emma's phone and audio from Ray's phone. All right, let me see if I can listen to this with you. Let me know if it's too loud. I don't know why it doesn't like me pressing these buttons with my finger.
Hey everyone, this is Emma, here with Ray. Say hi, Ray.
Yeah, hey.
It's been a while since we've given you a proper update, huh? I figured now would be a good opportunity to, in case there was any doubt, we're still lost. James
Left.
got separated from us, so hopefully he's all right. Ed's reception has been spotty at best. Fortunately, I think we've done pretty well for ourselves, just the two of us. We found the van. Finally, we can get out of here.
Doesn't matter. James has the keys and Ed has the spare.
Are you serious?
Super smart, since he was never gonna actually come out here. I don't know if they'd even work if we had them. There's this weird mucus. It's all over the engine.
Perfect. More weird stuff we can't explain. That's just perfect. Well, listeners, at least we found the van. Maybe we should wait here for James, or we could just follow the path we came down on foot. What path there is. It's a plan at least, but it might just get us more lost.
You good?
I want to go home. What if there really is a witch out there? No, seriously, what would we even do? I mean, getting lost is one thing, but getting lost in the Black Hills Forest is I don't like it. We've been in here for 30 minutes maybe, but it feels like it's been hours. What were the signs of the witch again? Aren't you supposed to, lay out some salt or something?
Do you even have salt? Emma, nothing's gonna happen. We're at the van. The path we took in is right there. It's gotta lead out, right? Forget the stupid witch. I'd be more worried about weirdos from town pulling some sort of prank.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
I know I am.
Thanks. Well, oh my god, am I still recording?
Didn't seem like there was anything there of importance to us. A mention of laying out salt for the witch. She was recording and didn't realize she was recording. Didn't seem like, though, there was anything particularly useful for us, though. No, let's go to the next audio. Seems to be a real problem with the interface. When I close this, you think it's going to go back. Oh, it did go back this time. All right, let's listen to the audio from Ray's phone.
No way the path goes on for this long. We've been walking for hours.
We drove in, so maybe.
Are we even on the path? What even is this slimy crap? It's everywhere.
Let's not wait around and see if we can find out. It can't be that much farther. God, I can't wait to get some real food.
Oh yeah, I would kill for some crab legs right now.
Oh, I saw that diner down the block had a triple fudge sundae. I can hear it calling my name.
I thought you were lactose intolerant.
It's gonna be worth it. I don't care if I...
What was that?
Hey, if someone's there, stop playing. James? James, that you?
Shh, shut up.
Okay, very funny, James. Sure got the new kids.
Ray, be quiet. We have no idea whether that's James or something else.
Well, if it's not James, it's someone else who could help us. Even if they're trying to screw with us.
You don't know that.
Trust me, I know it's not a witch.
No, you don't. Let me see that map. We need to get back to the van.
Okay.
Your phone's on. Did you know this is recording?
What? No.
Oh, God. Was it listening to us?
No. No, it must have just turned on by accident.
This is creeping me out real bad. I want to get out of here.
All right, so it doesn't seem like there's any clues in those audio to me, but we did get an interesting discussion there about how the phones have turned on and start recording themselves, and they're saying, are they listening? And this is the second time we've had sort of like the radio tower was listening, the phones are listening. It's almost like the forest is listening through using electronic communications. Radio waves, phone. It's an interesting little twist here that there's something about this forest turning evil, being able to listen using electronics, radio. Kind of a weird, different concept here. Okay, was there anything else for us in these documents besides these two audio files? Audio. No, that's it. All right, why don't we, since we're here, go check out the new forum posts. And we'll be done with the website for this box. Okay. Weird photo. Spooky fam, this photo is creeping me out. I took it at my cousin's wedding. There appears to be a shadowy figure standing next to her. I don't know why, but I really think it might be my grandpa. He died 6 months ago, and he and my cousin were very close. If you zoom in, you can even see the bow tie he used to wear. Let me know what you think. Not to rate on your parade original poster, but that is literally your finger covering the lens. Agreed. Everyone's agreeing. Well, this is embarrassing, he says. Need some decoding help. Mandy from Knoxville says, me again. So this message from my son is definitely in code. I'm 100% sure this time. He sent it when I texted him to ask if he had read my latest email. TBH TLDR. This is quite funny. Okay, this is the second time this woman posted. First time she posted about her son, sent her a message in code that said ROFL. Now he's written TBH TLDR, which is more abbreviation. She tries to decode it. Could it be a keyword cipher? I read they work like this. She's saying how to use a keyword cipher. This is a clever way to teach us about ciphers. Anyway, she's telling us about this cipher. And then she says, I'm not sure how to decode it though. Do you go up or down? The reply is, with the configuration you have, you should be decoding downward. K becomes A, and so forth. However, I don't think that's a cipher. Next reply, why are we doing this again? And why are you mincing words? Mandy, you have shown your ignorance of internet acronyms once more. TBHTLDR is, to be honest, too long didn't read, which is how I wish I had treated this post. No one asked for your opinion, Dane. She literally did. Pretty funny. Evil twins. Do any of you fine folks believe in doppelgangers? I took the bus to work the other day, and there was somebody who looked just like me a few seats ahead. I didn't get a super good look at their face, though. Could have been just a coincidence, but it freaked me out. There's precedence for that, right? You're correct. Some of the people believe a doppelganger is an omen of death. However, others just think it means bad luck in general, or that it represents a parallel universe. No matter what, I wouldn't worry about it. Like you said, you never really saw their face. Maybe they don't look as much like you as you thought. Also, I think the legend is that you have to see it 3 times or something, right? Alice in Wonder says, I don't know about that specifically, but I think the general consensus is that the more you see it, the worse the omen. And the person replies, guess who was at the grocery store today? The next person replies, I'm sure it's fine. No offense, but you wouldn't be so chill if this were happening to you. Unwelcome nighttime visitor. Has anyone ever had sleep paralysis? I've been experiencing some really weird stuff at night lately. What kind of weird stuff? I wake up and I can't breathe, like there's somebody choking me. The first few times my wife didn't even notice. She just laid there. They call that the night hag. People used to think it was an old lady spirit causing all the trouble. Mine is an old man. As in, you literally see a person? Yes. The other night he was hovering right over my wife. She didn't believe me when I said I saw him. I'm sure it's just part of the phenomena, kind of like a dream. And why do I have marks on my neck the next day? Someone's posted, listen to this. Want to hear something creepy? I played part of a recent Supernatural episode backwards, and here's what I got. Okay. Let's listen to this.
We're
never gonna make it out.
That was spooky. Let's listen again.
We're never gonna make it out.
So I heard two things. Obviously, there's the statement near the end that says we're never going to make it out. That's pretty creepy. But in the beginning, it sounded like it said at the base. Did you hear that too? At the base. Am I the only one who heard that, or did you hear something? Did anyone hear anything else? Okay, let's see. That. Thanks for the nightmares. That's disturbing. Are Ed and James okay? I'm sure they're fine. They're only out in the middle of nowhere. Let's not get hysterical. Following, same. Seriously though, has anybody heard anything from them? Anybody? So that's, remember, the podcast has traveled to Burkittsville on hiatus. So these are the listeners posting to the forum, and they're saying, like, we haven't heard from them. They haven't given us an update. Are they okay? All right, pretty creepy. So that's it for the website update. And I guess then we're meant to understand that these things were just in the van, then they used it to write on them. All right, let's make our way through these then. The Past Lives On, another warning from Old Blair by Anthony Rapinoe. Now playing. Tickets may be physically purchased at the Burkittsville History Museum or digitally on its website. The Burkittsville History Museum and this play are both made possible by generous donations from members and visitors. Let's read this first and then we'll find the note. Let's read the proper thing and then we'll look at the notes. So there's the Burkittsville Theater. The Past Lives On is the spiritual successor to The Past Never Dies, a first-person anthology of tales from Old Blair, both written and directed by Anthony Rapinoe, a local historian and folklorist. It is his second work for the stage. Both works are meant to serve as cautionary tales about the dangers of ignoring lessons of the past. Praise for the previous production of The Past Never Dies. I had no idea about so many events that happened in Burkittsville over the years. Enlightening, but kind of scary to think this all happened so close. Everyone should see this play, especially tourists. Informative but scary, makes me look at town in a totally new way. And then we've got the actors here. Here is Anthony Rapinoe. We had a slight interaction with him in the first box where he wanted to help us. He works at the museum, but didn't. And then we've got Tom Woodhouse as Jonathan Goodneighbor. And then on the back, we've got some notes and illustrations. 1717. We look at our website. Let's remind ourselves, what's 1717? It's not in our list here of dates. Okay. We'll read these notes in a second here. All right, let's go through these notes then. There's the Blair Witch symbol. Chad says, I think he said there were photos. Yes, I do remember that. Let's see. Some audio they must have captured. There's some good news. The tow truck, he was getting out. I managed to snag a camera bag out of the back seat. Good thing I did. Emma left me messages. Some she meant and some she probably didn't. So maybe it's not saying they're photos. They were in a camera bag. Emma left me messages. Some audio. Some they meant, some they didn't. And also pages in the ration box. So we thought there were photos, but it's actually just a camera bag. All right, let's read the notes that they've written here. Day 3, morning, day 4. Is that where it all starts? Let's see. All right. Day 3, morning. She's not talking to me, not allowed to open my mouth, apparently. This isn't my fault. Staying in the van until she decides it's safe. Who knows when that will be? Somebody from the town is messing with us. I hear rustling and whispers outside, laughing like tree trunks scraping together. Day 4, maybe. She still won't let us leave. Why can't she trust me? Maybe this play will give her something to look forward to. Okay, here's day 5. Day 5, no food left. Someone attacked the van last night. Only saw branches slamming against the windows. Told her I would protect her. Can I? Stupid stick things everywhere outside. I know they're real because she saw them too. Don't think it's people from town anymore. This is Emma and Ray talking, I guess. They question mark. Gave her ideas, but she didn't care. All within an hour's walk. Dead Man's Rock, Jones Camp Falls, or Dutch Hill. All great, but she shut down every one. We need to go somewhere, anywhere. Screaming and more screaming outside the van all night. Then that laughing again, but the screaming sounded like me. All right, that is scary sounding. They question more stick people outside, more and more and more. I'm so hungry, can't sleep. Not that I even should. Something's out there watching. Doesn't make sense what I thought I saw. Tall, skin like bark, branches for antlers. Ed never said anything about this. All right, this is all pretty scary. So the two of them sound like they're trapped in the van. They question mark. Pile of rocks outside the van. Heard enough of Ed's Blair Witch talk to know what that means. I just want to go home. Please just let me go home. Please, 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 please. Oh, that's creepy. All right, what's this note here? She says she has a place. It's now or never. It's coming for us tonight. All right, so they're trapped in the van. They're screaming and these symbols outside and piles of rocks. He mentions a couple places he's proposed that they go, which sound like they're from this list. And Emma has been saying no. And then their last messages here, his last notes, are that they're going to make a run for it. Emma has a place, it sounds like. All right. We don't know where that is, but maybe we'll be able to figure it out. Let's take a look at this document now, and then we'll take a break. All right, so this document we're looking at is the Maryland Parks Wilderness Commission Pocket Survival Guide. All right, what have we got? Planning resources, basic guidelines, what to pack, MREs, water, fire starting a knife, tarps, signaling items, navigation tools, how to build a tarp and paracord shelter, types of water sources, use water purification tablets, how to access groundwater, dig up to 7 feet to find it, general safety considerations, let people know where you're going, don't rely on your instincts for navigation, if you're lost, stay in one place, remain calm. When to seek help, okay. All right, when to seek help, and then we've got Morse code. We haven't tried using Google Lens to decode this Morse code. At some point, we should consider it rather than doing it by hand. Maybe someone can take a screenshot of that on the screen and run it through a Google Lens or something to automatically decrypt the Morse code, or maybe we'll open up a website and stop doing it by hand. But I'll leave that for now. We'll come back to that. Edible plants. That's useful to know. Common shelters you could build. Tarp-based tent. This reminds me, there's a show called Alone where they put people in Alaska or something alone. They put like 10 of them in different places, and the last one to tap out wins a lot of money, and they try to survive for like 30 or 40 days. And there's an interesting focus on whether they should build shelter or hunt for food first. What's more important? Pretty fascinating show. I would recommend it. Testing for edibility. I'm curious about this. Let's see. Well, let's see. I'm curious about this too. So one thing you could do is you could build, if you have a tarp. Why isn't it wanting to work? Okay, you could build a tarp, then you basically build a tent. Or you could prop up trees and leaves, or you could build a hut, which would take you several days, but cut trees if you've got an axe or something. Or in colder climates, you could tunnel in the snow to make a shelter. Okay, and then we've got testing for edibility. You must test these different parts of the plant separately. Look for bad odors. Place the plant on your skin. The forearm or wrist works best for 15 minutes. Then wait 8 hours for a reaction. If any itching or burning occurs, do not eat the plant. So there's a good real tip. If you're lost and your need to eat wild plants, rub them on your forearm, see if you get an allergic reaction. If you don't get a reaction, heat or boil it until it reaches a consistency in which you plan to eat it, and then put that on your skin using your lips instead of your arm. So I actually saw this in the show. A guy did this. He had a plant he wanted to eat, and so he chewed up a bit and just kept it under his lip without eating it, or mushroom or something. So the idea is you keep putting it in your mouth for 15 minutes to see if your mouth has a reaction. I guess it's probably two very sensitive areas of your skin to see if you get any reaction. If you don't, then you can chew on the plant thoroughly, hold it in your mouth for another 15 minutes. If no reaction occurs, then you can swallow it. And you wait 8 hours before you eat the rest of it. All makes sense. All right. So in addition to that Morse code, we've got some writing on the back. Let's see. Tips on building a fire using tinder. A little note on how to cross a stream. Some common dangerous animals in Maryland. Black bear, a copperhead, poisonous snake, a rattlesnake with venom, I guess both venomous snakes, coyote, raccoon, and ticks. Common signaling devices. What's this? Fire. 3 columns of black smoke are the international signal for distress. You can use mirrors to reflect light. You could use a flare gun, a flashlight to send Morse code, or color for clothing. Sending an SOS. A light source can be used to send out a distress signal by communicating the letters SOS. Morse code uses a series of dots and dashes. So SOS ... dash 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 ... ... And then they're writing what to do next. This sounds like maybe just writing to yourself notes. What to do next? Let's stay at the van until we have a game plan. See general safety considerations, and they've crossed that off. We can't stay here. It knows where we are. Leave a trail for EB. I guess that's Ed Barnett. Will these things be able to follow it? All right, safety strategies for wildlife encounters. Make noise. Keep your campsite clean. Don't leave food out. Don't put your hands or feet where you can't see to avoid snake bite. Check your skin for parasitic insects like ticks. Wear clothes that don't allow insects to crawl inside. Pants tucked into socks. Only hike during daylight. Seeing clearly will give you an advantage. Carry bear spray if you're hiking alone. If you're approached by a black bear, do not play dead. If the bear tries to harm you, fight back as needed, concentrating force on the bear's face. Do not feed any animals, whether you consider them dangerous or not. Okay, I guess this is Emma's handwriting. Ray, 1, says he knows the way, but we always get lost. 2, won't stop whispering at night, says the whisper is coming from outside the van. 3, read his little diary just now. 4, something, something everywhere. 5 more of them tonight, 6 rock formations. So I think what we've got here is this is Emma's notes. So these were Ray's notes, and these are Emma's notes. All right, well, we'll want to decode both Morse code on the front and back from Emma, but we'll do that after a break. We've now gone through all of the documents in today's box, I believe, other than these incident reports. Maybe we'll do that when we come back. But let's take our first break. I'll see you in 8 minutes. This feels like this could be our candidate for the night where we play 2 boxes. I'll see you in 8 minutes. We are back. 11:09 p.m. here, 70 degrees. What temperature is it where everyone is watching from? It's normally very hot in this room, but today it's a little chilly. I've got my socks on. Jonathan reminds us that in yesterday's case, each of the introduction letters says, here's your assignment for today. And so in yesterday's case, we were given an assignment that actually had a very simple answer that we knew the answer to right at the beginning, but we sort of were overthinking it because it seemed like, well, clearly they don't want us to just put that in now. But it turned out that when we put in the answer, it didn't auto advance us and say open the next box. It said, here's a other puzzle. So Jonathan suggested in the chat, hey, if we found the map, the second half of the map, which is the answer to the question, maybe we should just put that in sooner rather than later, and maybe it'll introduce a second question for us. I just noticed something else. So we opened this up. It had our documents in it, notes, and I noticed that there was a map in this or something. But you know what I just noticed? Like this box bottom looks like a fake box bottom. But it's not. I was sure there was going to be something under this. I mean, it's possible that there's something written in the margins of it. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I was sure there was going to be something in there. All right, anyway, so I think Jonathan is right. We should put in this where we think we found the second half of the map sooner rather than later. But let's finish going through the documents first. Logan says it's 72 where he is. Buddha Bell says 68 degrees. DJ says, I thought our task was to find a location in the van. Well, yes, it's true. It's a good point. It says they left part of a map, so maybe that's what we found. But if we're going to figure this out, we need to find the other half first. Looking through everything I found, I think it must still be in the van. And the van is in the impound. Okay, so maybe you're right. Maybe he took it obvious that we found that we would locate this. All right. Anna says it's 8 degrees Celsius. I have no idea what that is. I know it's above freezing and below boiling. Closer to freezing than boiling, I guess. Okay, so there's two things left for us to read. There's the Ranger incident reports, and there's these notes, and then there's the Morse code. I guess there's three things. Let's not forget about the Morse code. All right, let's read, before we read these Ranger incident reports, let's read this. And then there's also the plate number. Okay, so I'm going to write down these items that we don't want to forget because I had already forgotten this thing. So we have the license plate RHI, sorry, RHCIMCME. Don't know what that means, if it's the key to a cipher or something. Then we've got the Morse code. Then we've got the MRE map. Is there anything else we want to not forget to check out? All right, let's take a look at this here. The woods are listening. Write it down. Stop. Write it down. I think one of them is telling the other one, like, don't talk, we can't talk. We have to write it down so these woods can't hear us speak. I'm not allowed to talk anymore? No, it hurt us before. Right from now on. Fine, which way? West. How did we end up back here? Don't. You said to take you west. I took you west. So it looks like they walked and came back to the van. Let's sleep in the van. No camp. Food, I'll check. You watch. Did you see that? What are you talking about? Stay quiet. The lights. What are you talking about? Stay quiet. Everything's going to be okay. 21 boxes. How do we end up back here? Don't. You said to take you west. Is there food? I'll check. You watch. 21 boxes. Cool. That's a lot. It isn't. 4 days. I'll take your word for it. When we get out of here, let's go to that play. Just try to sleep. Stay quiet. The lights. What are you talking about? Stay quiet. Everything's going to be okay. Did it stop? You really didn't see them? Why were you whispering to me last night? I wasn't. Don't lie. I wasn't. Let's just go. What's that? You want to stop? The ranger station. What a waste of time. Did you get anything? Papers, a list, seemed useful. Great. Paper, weird dead rat thing, and snail drool. Did you touch it? I did, accidentally. I follow the map, I swear. Then why are we here again? The sun's still out. Why is the sun still out? How would I know? I didn't do this. Let's just try again, okay? We shouldn't have lied about the permit. We should have listened. Then we've got some interesting things. Okay, they found a weird rat, a snail, the witches things, pile of rocks, flashlight and dog. This doesn't make any sense. Why do we keep coming back here? I told you I'm not doing anything. I didn't say you did. Then why are you mad? Because we're lost. We're staying here until I decide where to go next. All right, very creepy. They keep trying to go. They're lost in the woods just like they were before. And the woods geometry, topology obviously does not make normal sense. They keep finding themselves back at the van. They found the ranger station at some point, though. What a waste of time. Did you get anything? Papers. I guess they found this at the ranger station. A list that seemed useful. Not sure what this is about. They regret lying to their podcasters about the permit. All right, let's take a look at this list that they said seemed useful. We think this might be connected to this. They may have written these notes, though, before they got lost. I'm not sure. Okay. And we do have to remember, we're trying to think about some location in the van. Not sure we've gotten a clue about that yet. But let's read these reports. April 4th, 2018. A 34-year-old man identified by artifacts on his person was found drowned in the eastern fork of the creek. Rangers believe it likely he slipped from a rock overlooking the creek and fell to his death. The man's body showed a state of decay that suggested being left in elements for over a year, despite the fact he was only reported missing 2 days prior. The body was removed from the location by coroners. Let me just make sure. Do we have any incidents here? No. Down to 2014. Okay. The Morse code might have the van location. I think that makes sense. The ranger station has a number. It does. Ranger station 102594. Okay, let's continue reading through our incident reports. So, drowned body that looked like it's been there for a year, but he was only missing for 2 days. April 10th, a hiking couple arrived at a ranger station, reported one of them had suffered a snake bite from a timber rattlesnake. As it is a known hazard, rangers had anti-venom on hand, were able to successfully administer it. The victim is expected to make a full recovery. April 16th, a youth group from St. Dimas Church reported the theft of 2 backpacks and a canteen while on a daytime trip. The theft occurs when the group had left their camp near Chimney Top Landing to go bird watching. After reporting the incident to MPWC, the group ended their outing early and left the forest. As of this report, the culprit has not yet been identified, though one of the boys claimed the thief was the Antler Man he claims to have seen while bird watching. That's creepy. I wonder if we should try to keep a note about these locations. So, Chimney Top Landing, there's an item about that on April 16th. And then Eastern Fork. A boy fell into a shallow ravine during an early morning run with his father. Father reported that the child slipped on a rock due to the previous night's rain. Rangers treated the boy at the scene for a sprained ankle and then marked the area as hazardous. Shallow ravine. Several hikers reported hearing screams near Jones Camp Falls. Looks like April 19th. When rangers investigated, they were unable to find anyone in distress. Patrols plan to investigate the area regularly for the next few weeks. May 1st, an elderly hiker arrived at a ranger station under his own power, staunching severe lacerations on his neck and head. He claimed while walking he was struck by an owl. The lacerations were consistent with the talons of some of the local birds in the area. Ranger was able to tend to his wounds and escort him back to town without incident. Okay, looks like May 6th or so. Group of archaeology students have handed over to MPWC Rangers property uncovered during a dig. Rangers in turn released these items to the Burkittsville Sheriff's Office. Removed items included various film production equipment contained within a duffel bag. This sounds like maybe this is about the Blair Witch movie, first movie. They've uncovered film. May 14th, a 19-year-old woman was rescued from a 20-foot gully in the eastern half of the forest. After rescue, the hiker insisted she had been in the ditch for 4 days with no supplies. However, her hiking permit indicated she began her walk earlier that morning. The area is well marked as a danger zone, has been for centuries. Early settlers planted a circle of Quercus alba to mark the spot as a potential hazard for passers through. The woman claimed to have seen a distant figure watching from the trees too far away to properly identify. I couldn't see their face, but it looked like they were covered in twigs and leaves like a cheap scarecrow. Her experience is likely a combination of malnutrition and the shock of the incident. No one else was reported passing through the area that day. All right, so time is definitely passing weirdly here. I just want to see a circle of Quercus alba. I just want to make sure that we don't have a clue about Quercus alba here. Something that would lead us to be able to identify a location. Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's keep going. A young couple reported finding a hole in the ground with a foul smell emanating from within. They stated the smell was akin to rotten meat or spoiled milk. Rangers were sent out to investigate, believed the spot to be an abandoned skunk den. No carcasses were discovered, though rangers reported the smell lingered and quickly became overpowering enough to drive them to sickness. When a second pair of rangers investigated the area, there was neither a smell nor a den. The first pair of rangers recovered quickly after departing the area. Oh, that's creepy. I see the trench thing again. Where was the trench? Shallow ravine. I wonder if that's that. Okay. That's weird. While on patrol, rangers came across a woman who had wandered from the path. She appeared disoriented and possibly violent, but the rangers were able to calm her down and treat her for mild dehydration. By the time they had escorted her back to Burkittsville proper, she was able to articulate she'd become lost on an afternoon hike and was able to return home under her own power. Hikers reported, this is May something, end of May. Hikers reported being approached by a young boy around 6 to 8 years of age near Rocky Flats. Okay, this is one of our other places on our list. Rocky Flats. And he reportedly told the hikers he came from the house with the handprints, but ran away before they could question him further. The child did not match the description of any missing boy, and there are no intact houses in the forest. That's spooky. Well, the house with the handprint is from the movie, but it's also from here. 43-year-old woman reported being chased through the woods by a monster with long stretched limbs. When asked for a more detailed description, the hiker fell into a state of shock and was unable to provide further actionable information. Rangers suspect the monster may have been an Ursus americanus suffering from mange. However, this incident will remain open pending further investigation. So they think it's a wolf or something. Looks like June 11th. Several food containers and beer cans were found near Chimney Top Landing by patrolling rangers. Rangers cleaned the area and issued a community statement on keeping the woods clean, as well as safe hiking procedures. Later, sources indicated a group of high school students skipped a day to party with the witch. Proper citations were issued. Ursus is bear, I'm reminded in the chat, not wolf. Okay, we see another mention here. Chimney Top was June 4th. A visiting family of 3 reported seeing a soft flare of red light in the trees to the south while hiking on Dutch Hill. Dutch Hill, June 15th. Flare. That sounds like it could be relevant for us. Soft flare of red light in the trees to the south while hiking on Dutch Hill. Frightened by this display, they decamped and left before nightfall, reporting the incident to rangers upon their exit. Okay, and then June something. The skeletal remains of a human hand missing its index finger was found by Ranger Harold Brennan near Dead Man's Rock. Dead Man's Rock is another of our places. June 20-something. Brennan radioed the nearest tower, kept watch as authorities traveled to the scene. When officers from Burkittsville Sheriff's Office arrived, the hand was nowhere to be found, though Ranger Brennan swore it had not moved since he discovered it. The incident is being investigated. June 27, a 23-year-old man reported a dead family of raccoons near his sitting spot by the river, around the southernmost bend in the creek. The carcasses were fresh and strewn about. He speculated it could be signs of large predatory animals nearby and informed the rangers. Okay, June something, maybe June. Can't even tell if it's June. A broken drone of unidentified make and model with a camera attached was found by hikers near Pine Hollow. Pine Hollow is one of our places on our list. Pine Hollow. Where do we think? Let's see. What does that actually say? Looks like June 19. And then Dead Man's Rock. All right. We won't worry about it. When rangers arrived, the drone was no longer at the scene. All right. Well, that's the list of our incidents. And They definitely mention a bunch of these places. I'm not sure why that's relevant to us, though. All right, I think we now have to decode the Morse code, and if these don't give us our answer to where in the van to look, are they in chronological order? Ask the chat. April, May, June. Sure seems like they are to me. All right, let's decode these messages. Maybe we can use a website rather than doing it by hand. Still prone to slight errors, but maybe you'll have an easier time. Okay, how do we want to do this? Okay. Spaces between. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So, it's too bad it's not translating as I type. What's wrong? What's going wrong here? All right. Well, that's unfortunate. I think we'd have some experience with it, but let's try a different website. Spaces between letters. Or space. Okay, here we go. We can use this one. Huh? Okay, how to find the rest of the map. That's our first line. Where's my... Okay, so that's our first line. How to find the rest of the map. All right, let's delete all this. Can I put sentence breaks here? If I do a sentence break, will it show up? Yes. Word break, fine. Okay, let's continue. Line 1. Okay. So line 1 says I left you a key. Let's see if we can continue to line 2. I left you a key. All right, so it's not going to give me a line break. That's all right. I left you a key. She has the secret. That was line 2. Left you a key. She has a secret. It's too bad we can't get line breaks here. How about if I add more spaces? Doesn't help. What about more separators? No. Just trying to find a nice way to separate the lines. I left you a key. She has the secret. All right, well, here's line 3. Whoa. Line 3. Dot, 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 dash, dot, dot, dash, dash, dot. I left you a key. She has the secret. Step up to the plate. Okay, that sounds like it's about the fake license plate. But let's write this down. Okay. One is I left you a key. I wonder if this could be our key from the previous box, which was a cipher shift of 11. We might try a cipher shift of 11 on this. 2 is she has the secret. And then 3 is step up to the plate. Okay, this is the Morse code from Seek Help. All right, so I'm wondering, we still have another piece of Morse code on that document, but I'm wondering if that's trying to tell us to use the key here, which we already used before with a cipher shift of 11. I wonder if it's not telling us to use cipher shift 11 on this. Let's see what that would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll put a C under the R. If it was a positive 11, E, S, and that sounds wrong. What if it was backwards? 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 would go to G. G, W, that doesn't seem right. G, W, R, X, that seems wrong. Let's put that aside then. and decode the rest of the Morse code, and then we'll spend more time thinking about it. All right, back to our website. I'm going to clear this. Let's start again with the first line. Ray, I say she knows. I say she knows the way, but then we always get lost. Okay. Is he doing this? Says he knows. Is he doing this? Is he doing this on purpose? Jonathan says, I think the message hidden in the doll might be the key. I left you a key. She has the secret. Step up to the plate. Yes, I think you might be right, Jonathan. All right, let's finish decoding that. Then we'll look for a key cipher using the word hunted, which is in the doll. All right, we'll do that in a second. Okay, so line 1 is he doing this on purpose? Let's write that down. Is he doing this on purpose? Okay, line 2. Won't stop whispering at night. Says the whisper is coming from outside the van. Okay, and then the Morse code says I'm not an idiot. This just seems like story stuff. Read his little diary just now. Gross. Now line 4 is stickmen everywhere. 5 more of them tonight. 6 says rock formations. He's escalating. All right, so she thinks it's Ray who's doing this, but we know it's not. All right, so that's just story part, but this one here seems to be instructions about the map. And I did not write down the first line here, so I think I need that again. Let me I left you a key. She has the secret. Step up to the plate. I already wrote that down. That was the 1, 2, 3. But it was this top part. Okay, how to find the rest of the map. So that's clearly the puzzle that we're meant to find, meant to answer how to find rest of map. Okay, so I thought it might have been the key that this was referring to from the previous box. Jonathan says that this part, she has the secret, he thinks is this, hunted. Okay, so, and then step up to the plate definitely seems like it's about this. So we're wondering if the clue on the forum might be the clue to how to decode this. So let's go back to that. Super neutral message boards. Okay, so remember, she's trying to figure out how to decipher something, and she says, could it be a keyword cipher? They work like this. You write the keyword at the top above the alphabet. And then you start writing the rest of the letters. And then, okay. So maybe we need a bigger piece of paper. Let's see. There's probably I could probably do this online, but let's do it this way if this hunch is right. So you start writing with the keyword, and then you fill out the rest of the alphabet. Only unused letters that aren't in here. So A, B, C, not a D though, because D is already in the hunted. Not an E, because that's already there. F, G, not an H, that's already there. Not, and then we have an I, J, K, L, M, no N. Running out of space. This is why this is painful. Let's try again. Hunted. B, D, no D, no E, F, G, no H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, no T, no U, R, Z. Okay, and then under it, we write the alphabet. Okay, so I've made a mistake somewhere. I've got too many of these. The chat has told me there should be no N. No, that's okay. Probably we should have found a computer version of this. LMN. E U R S. No T, no U. V U X Y Z. Okay. So there's our keyword cipher key. And then we're reminded here, you decode downward. So if this is the phrase we're trying to decode, we've got R goes to T, H goes to A, C goes to I goes to L, M goes to P, and you can see what this is going to spell, which is tailpipe. All right. Good teamwork here. We have figured out where the rest of the map is hidden in the van. It's in the tailpipe. That was a nicely done puzzle. No complaints there. With very clever little hinting in the forum posts. All right, well, let's go send the message to Ed. Tell him where we think he can find the rest of the map. And let's see what happens. All right, we're going to send a new message. Okay, and we'll just say the rest of the map is in the tailpipe. Doesn't want me to type such a long message. We'll just say tailpipe. All right, let's send it. Hey, that was fast. I've been waiting near the impound lot. I'm pretty sure I can make it in there. Give me 1 second. I'll call you with what I found. All right, let's see.
Hey, gotta keep it down. There's a cop at the front gate. I'm gonna hop the back fence. Hang on a second. Okay, I don't think anyone saw me. Okay, tailpipe. Good God. Man, this thing really is ruined. Good thing I have my tetanus shot. You were right. This is it. We can use this to figure out where they're going. I'm gonna send you a picture, then get out of here. I can't risk anyone seeing me. Oh, Check out the picture I just sent you. Hopefully, with the rest of the stuff in the package, you should be able to figure out where they're going. I gotta get out of here without getting arrested. Get back to me as soon as you can.
All right, and it looks like this is going to be the picture. All right, so let's see. So we're trying to figure out where they were going. It looks like it's where they've marked here. Let's bring this up on the screen. Can we do it this way? Will that make it better? Okay, so there's our map. I guess we're trying to identify where here is. And I believe we're going to find that, as hypothesized, it's going to be one of these places, I'm guessing. And we're going to need to identify it based on perhaps this information and this information, which will describe what these places look like. And maybe this information, which tells us north, west, south, and east. Okay, so let's see. Can we, first of all, can we make use of this map with this big one and help us get north, south, west, and east from it? All right, so how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? In one of the historical documents, didn't they talk somewhere about planting a circle of trees around some land area? That sounds familiar. That does sound familiar. Okay, so the chat wants to explore that concept. So let me do that first. Do you think one of these reports talked about that? Let's see if you're right, if it's in this report. Yeah, I do remember some saying something like they marked the area, right? Didn't they say they were going to mark the area? Mark the area as hazardous. Okay, so that wasn't quite right. It was in the timeline of the 1700s. Okay, that's an interesting memory. I don't think I would have thought to find that. Okay, I'm going to have to save this because I have a feeling. Open the image in the new tab. There, that's the way to do it. All right. So on the home page, let's see if you're right about this. I was in the stuff about the 1700s. Okay, I don't see it there. You say it's on, you're not saying on that one, you're saying on a different sheet. Okay, I'm going to ignore the chat until you can give me a better description of what you're talking about. I'm going to go back to exploring my documents here. Okay, so there was a part about them marking an area, but it didn't tell us about planting trees. Let's go through this. I thought it was going to require us to reconstruct stuff a little bit better, a little bit more detail rather than just noticing. Here, The area is well marked as a danger zone, has been for centuries. Early settlers planted a circle of Quercus alba to mark the spot as a potential hazard for passers through. Okay. So there we go. I guess that's what we were looking at. Okay, so May 14th. We have a circle of Quercus alba. Let's say that that is where they went. We might want to look up Quercus alba to make sure it's trees. Let's assume that's right, though. So now we know it's at this location, but I don't think that gives us the answer to give them. 19-year-old was rescued from a 20-foot gully on the eastern half of the forest. So gully on eastern half. So is that enough to give directions, or are we going to need to know the name of this place? She saw a distant figure watching from the trees too far away to properly identify. I couldn't see their faces, covered in twigs and leaves like a scarecrow. No one else was reported passing through the area. 20-foot gully on the eastern half of the forest. So this makes me think that north is on the bottom of our screen. And I wonder if we can't use that. I'm I'm assuming that we sort of have to do these combinations to give a better answer, but okay, so let's talk about the answer to this puzzle. We're going to try we're going to try it one way and then we'll think about it harder. My assumption was that we were going to have to combine this map with the partial map we have here, which gives us information about where north, south, west, and east is, with the various information about where things are located and nearby, with this, and that the answer was going to be one of these places. I still think that makes sense, that we're going to have to tell them the name of a specific place. Now that we read this description about the 20-foot gully on the eastern half of the forest, I'm assuming that we have to use that information and the map to tell us which named location contains that 20-foot gully. However, before we go to all of that trouble, maybe we should try putting in the chat just the word gully to make sure that doesn't solve it rather before we spend a lot of time trying to work out a specific named location. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into the chat, and it's lost the information that we already sent. I'm going to put in tailpipe again just to bring that up again. This is a weird little flaw in this system. I don't think we need to do this again. I think I could just send it, but I'm curious to hear what he actually asks us for. Okay, so he says, it's not in text, it's just here. All right, I'm gonna have to listen to this again and write down this time what he actually says he wants.
Hey, gotta keep it down. There's a cop at the front gate. I'm gonna hop the back fence. Hang on a second. Check out the picture I just sent you. Hopefully, with the rest of the stuff in the package, you should be able to figure out where they're going. I gotta get out of here without getting arrested. Get back to me as soon as you can.
All right, so we have to figure out where they're going. All right, so let's send a new message. And I'm going to just try typing Gully. I hope this doesn't work because I'd like the puzzle to be a little more involved. But let's just see what happens if we send Gully. Hopefully he'll say you need to be more specific. I'm not sure we time it. Okay, good. All right. Well, that's good. That's what I want. I want it to require us to be a little more clever. All right. The chat has an idea. The listed location called the trench mentioned oak leaves, and we think the text about the gully of the Quercus alba. Okay, the chat knows what Quercus alba is, but let me bring it up for all of us. Quercus alba is white oak. Okay, so now the chat was saying if we look at the trench, and remember when we read this, I did start to keep track of which places were mentioned where, and no notes about the trench. Okay, great. Trench. Maybe I stopped taking notes. Dutch Hill, Dead Man's Rock. Rocky Flat. Why did I not write about the trench? Ravine. Flats. Chimney top. Dutch Hill. Dead Man's Rock. Sitting spot near the river. Pine Hollow. Creek. Chimney top. Ravine. Okay, chat's trying to get my attention. I'm going to ignore it for now. I'm going to spend a little time on this without getting the answer from the chat. Let's see. Okay, because they planted a circle of them, we think that this is the location. 20-foot gully on the eastern half of the forest. And the question is, we think, what named place is this? Now, why aren't they referring to it by its own name if it has a name? Software red light in the trees to the south while hiking on Dutch Hill. I wouldn't be surprised if, when we find our map, this area to the south of Dutch Hill isn't our area. Doesn't really help us though. All right, let's try again. So probably it's going to be one of the places they have marked here as being reasonable. So they don't want to go to Dead Man's Rock. They don't want to go to Jones Camp Falls. Good cover, how deep? Good for tinder. So they might have gone to the trench. They might have gone to Rocky Flats. They don't want to go to Dutch Hill, but they might go to Pine Hollow. Let's just write down these places they're considering. Chimney Top Landing. Dead Man's Rock, no. Ruins, too far. Jones Camp Falls, never. But the trench seems like a place they might go. Rocky Flats is a maybe. I'm sure the chat has figured this out, but I don't want I want to think about this myself for a bit. Dutch Hill, they say no. Pine Hollow is the most remote, but maybe. Okay, so those are the 4 locations they're considering. The trench says Oak Leaves, which seems like it might be our place because we're dealing with oak. But I would hope for more than that before we have to guess. Okay, we know if we're right about the gully, we know it's on the eastern half of the forest. Let's see what we know about the rest of these. Chimney Top we have on April 16th. Group had left their camp near Chimney Top Landing. Left the forest. Not useful for us. June 4th is another entry about Chimney Top. Let's see. Several food containers found near Chimney Top by patrolling rangers. They cleared the area. Sources indicate a group of high school students skipped a day to party with the witch. That doesn't help us. What about Rocky Flats? The end of May. Hikers reported being approached by a young boy near Rocky Flats. He came from the house with the handprints and ran away. That doesn't really help us to pinpoint where Rocky Flats are. Last place I have is Pine Hollow. According to my notes, we do have an entry of Pine Hollow. Where is our mention of Pine Hollow here? Broken drone. No longer at the scene. Okay, well, unfortunately, none of these descriptions of locations are giving us much geography. I was hoping that we would get information about what's on the east side of the forest. "20-foot gully in the eastern half of the forest." It's a 20-foot gully on the eastern half of the forest. And I think this map may be upside down. Okay, take a look at this for a second. Look at this map. Does it look like maybe this here is the edge of a tree? Is this the edge of this tree cut off on the bottom left of this photo? So then in that case, if I'm right, yes, I think I am right. So actually then north is up. If that's right, that look, if it's right that this little thing here is this tree at the bottom left that's cut off, and can you see how that path right beneath the rock over here? Okay. I'm arguing that that is this line here. That this line here and this here matches up with that line and that tree. If that's true, then north is up, and we're told it's in the eastern half of the forest. That makes complete sense now, that this is the eastern half of the total map. And this here is the western half of this map, basically. And the rest of our map is here. But now, how does that help us? What about our other map? From a previous box? Does that help us? I don't see how. Really. All right. Let's think then. I mean, it still makes sense that it's going to be one of these locations. How are we going to identify that? Let's think. Distant figure watching from the trees. Too far away to properly identify. So we've got a bunch of areas talking about these places by name. And yet this place is not by name. But it is referring to a figure watching from the trees. too far away. Hmm. Drown in the eastern fork of the creek. Eastern fork of the creek. Slip from a rock overlooking the creek. Well, we did get another map, didn't we? It was online. Let me just look for that again. What about this map? Can we give him a grid coordinate from this map? I mean, there's the creek. Boy, a grid coordinate would be pretty cool, but could we identify this on the map? On the eastern half, is it? Oh, why won't you let me zoom in? Okay. Is it? Oh no, this could be just wild goose chase. All right, well, I'm looking at the chat now. John says, I think it's going to just be the trench, and all the other clues are irrelevant. We're just meant to notice that the trench has oak leaves. All right, I mean, we're going to do the thing we said we were going to do from now on, which is rather than overthinking it, we'll try to put the trench just because it has oak leaves. But is there no other statement about the trench in this document? Like, it's very odd that they wouldn't refer to it. All right, well, rather than spend another hour on this, hoping for a better puzzle, let's try to put in the trench and see if that's the answer. I mean, we've identified it's the gully with the ring of trees, we think. But we don't know which of the locations on this list it strictly is. We think it's going to be one of the ones on this list that they say are okay. And the one that seems most consistent with our place, maybe we're meant to do it by process of elimination. Like there's information about the chimney top landing, there's information about Rocky Flats, and there's information about Pine Hollow. And maybe we're meant to eliminate those. Before I type it in, let me just see if you could eliminate those by their descriptions. Here's Pine Hollow. Hikers near Pine Hollow. Zone was no longer. No, I don't see anything here that could eliminate that. So I'm not really sure, but let's just put in here the French, which is how it's listed here. I'm hoping this is wrong just because it feels like there should be a deeper puzzle. DJ says it wouldn't be Pine Hollow if it's full of oak, and the chimney top has white pine. So it sounds like maybe we can eliminate the rest. So if we eliminate chimney top because of the white pine, and we eliminate Pine Hollow because of pine, then the Rocky Flats we could eliminate possibly just because it's so high up and is rocky. That's not what a trench is. Let's see. Where's our Rocky Flats description? The only here, boy near Rocky Flat, house with the handprints. Maybe that would be enough to eliminate that. I don't know. All right, we're going to try the trench. No, we don't search. We just type the trench. Let's see what he says. Guess that's it. The trench. All right. Well, our logic was fairly sound. I'm not thrilled that it wasn't a more interesting way of identifying the location. Logan says the emailed map is upside down. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I don't know that it's relevant. Anyway, we've got it right here. I'm happy to hear other theories about why it why we should have figured out it's the trench. It feels consistent with the way we've done it. It just feels like it's not using a lot of the clues that we found, including this map here. It feels like it's not relevant. But I'm happy to hear alternate theories. But for now, let's listen. Okay. Emailed upside. I'm not sure I follow
Hey,
that, but
friend.
doesn't matter.
The trench, huh? That makes sense. Emma and Ray are hiding at the trench. God, I hope they're all right. I keep calling and texting all of them. I know they can't be saying it, but still. This should be happening to me. Not because I was the one who brought them out here. I was the leader. Now, everyone's lost. And I can't go to Lanning for help. I have to be the one to go get them. Nobody else is gonna do it. Wish me luck, investigator. I'm gonna go get ready. Hopefully the next package I send you has some better news.
All right. Well, we have solved this box. There was some fun stuff here. We did figure out what pieces were telling us about what clues. I just think the landing wasn't quite nailed here. It wasn't frustrating like the others, and we've solved it by not overthinking it. But I do think it's a little bit of a shame that all of this geography didn't seem to be used. And I do not understand the purpose of this map. I do not understand the purpose, how this doesn't seem to help us. So I'm not sure I understand why that's relevant. But okay, why don't we do this? Let's play another box tonight. We've been playing for 2 hours and 40 minutes. But let's do this. There are 16 concurrent viewers. We'll do a little experiment here. We're going to take a break here, but we're going to end this stream. And then in 10 or 15 minutes, we will start the new stream, which will be part 4. I already scheduled it for tomorrow, but I'm going to edit it and move it up. So basically, we're going to sign off now. And all of you should go to the YouTube page for the channel. And if you want to continue playing with us, and you'll see part 4 will start streaming in 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll do it like a new stream. We'll start the next box. So I'll see you in 10 or 15 minutes. Remember, this stream will end. The next stream will start. I'll see you there.